not violent. It is safe to sit. So if you do see some seats there, please take a seat if you can. It's just a fire safety issue to block the doors. With that being said, please welcome the Honourable Steve Clark, Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be back. I think it's an amazing that after a significant absence, we're back in person at ROMA, and I'm so glad to be here. It's a pleasure for us to be at the conference. I want to acknowledge Robin Jones, the chair of ROMA. Want to also acknowledge all of the board members. I just want to thank the record amount of delegates that are here. This is a great opportunity for us to exchange ideas and to get your feedback. Your advocacy here at this conference is instrumental in addressing the unique challenges that rural municipalities face, and I want to make it very clear our government is committed to working with you to promote rural Ontario as a place to live, to work, and to do business. Like ROMA, our government sees a bright future for rural Ontario with opportunities for growth in resource-based sectors, enhanced education and training, and increased workforce productivity, all while providing a high quality of life and homes that Ontarians can afford. Last November, we provided our government's first ever progress report on our plan to build Ontario and made targeted investments to grow the economy, address labour shortages, and help families and businesses keep costs down. For example, we're providing an additional $40 million for the latest round of the Skills Development Fund to upskill workers and job seekers in industries with high demand. Thanks, Minister McNaughton. We also released the province's first ever critical minerals strategy this past November and launched a 2-year, $5 million critical minerals innovation fund which enhances research and development of new technologies. We're also investing nearly $4 billion to bring access to reliable, high-speed internet to communities across the province by the end of 2025. We've made these investments because we recognize the important opportunities for growth and development in northern and rural communities. But we also understand that these municipalities face very unique fiscal challenges, especially during times of economic uncertainty. To provide municipalities with some stability, we allocated $500 million through the Ontario Municipal Partnership Fund for 2023 and released those funding allocations well in advance of the municipal budget year to support municipalities with their planning processes. We also introduced the Northern Ontario Resource Development Support Fund and increased support to the Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund to help those 425 small, rural and northern communities both renew and rehabilitate their core infrastructure. And then on top of that, we're helping municipalities save money by moving the responsibility of the Blue Box program to producers. It's a change that is expected to save municipalities $171 million annually once fully transitioned. And I want to thank my colleague, Minister Piccini, for that particular aspect, for his leadership on the file. Both Minister Piccini and I will work with municipalities to ensure that these changes result in the best possible outcomes for taxpayers and municipalities. And in that spirit, I am also pleased to announce that our government is taking action on an issue we've heard about repeatedly from our municipal partners, particularly in rural areas. My parliamentary assistant, Kevin Holland, along with MPP Lauren Coe, who's parliamentary assistant to the Premier, will be leading a provincial consultation on the impact of rail crossing maintenance on municipal finances. I'm confident I am confident that with their combined years of experience, both at the municipal and the provincial level, they will help deliver results for municipalities and taxpayers across the province. These are just a few examples of how our government has taken action to drive economic growth and success in rural Ontario. The investments we've made, are making, lay a foundation for a stronger economy and even a brighter future for rural Ontario. But right now, too many Ontarians are struggling with the rising cost of living and with finding housing that meets their families' needs. That's why our government has introduced dozens of new policies to strengthen both housing and homelessness supports, while building more housing that Ontarians can afford. We've also invested nearly $4.4 billion over the past 3 years to grow and enhance community and supportive housing, respond to COVID-19, and address homelessness for vulnerable Ontarians. We know this kind of funding is critical to our partners in the sector who are supporting our most vulnerable Ontarians, and that we all need to work all levels of government to end the housing crisis. With that in mind, I'm pleased to share that we're providing more than $936 million in much-needed funds to municipal service managers and our Indigenous program administrators. These funds will be provided through the 2023-2024 and 2024-2025 through initiatives under the National Housing Strategy to both maintain and create more community housing. This includes an increase of over $23 million under the Canada-Ontario Housing Benefit for women and children that are fleeing violence. These funds are as a result of Ontario's recent negotiations with the federal government, as required under the Canada-Ontario National Housing Strategy bilateral agreement. We're going to continue to fight to ensure that Ontario municipalities receive their fair share of funding under the National Housing Strategy, and I would urge you as municipal leaders to join us in making the case to the federal government. Finally, I'd like to talk about the work our government is doing to tackle Ontario's housing supply shortage, including through our most recent Housing Supply Action Plan, More Homes Built Faster. Last year, Ontarians had a chance to make their voices heard in both municipal and provincial elections, and the verdict at both levels was pretty clear. Ontario is in a housing supply crisis, and Ontarians expect us to act, and that's exactly what we're doing. Our latest Housing Supply Action Plan includes some bold measures to get 1.5 million homes built over the next 10 years. The example I'll use is our plan to reduce the burden on potential home buyers by lowering development charge and other municipal fees. And I know these changes are top of mind for many of you. I want to be frank with you. Runaway fees add a substantial amount to the cost of new homes. They have a huge negative impact on housing affordability for Ontarians. That's why we're reducing or eliminating development charge on affordable, nonprofit, as well as purpose-built rentals, inclusionary zoning units, and select attainable units. We're also regulating the pace at which development can be increased on other types of housing. I want to make myself very clear. Our government is committed to the approach laid out in More Homes Built Faster because we know it's the right thing to do. But at the same time, we recognize that it's critical for municipalities to be fiscally stable and have access to the funds needed to deliver both infrastructure and services to support new housing. So to help municipalities achieve these goals, we're going to be launching first a third-party audit of select municipalities, firstly to get a better understanding of their financial reserves and also their development charge administration. We're going to be doing this in the spirit of cooperation. We want to work together to increase Ontario's housing supply. And I know that our partners here at ROMA share this with the government, that share the goal, because the government values the advice and the insights that you've shared with us in the past and also shared with us here at ROMA. That's why, for instance, the ministry has carefully reviewed ROMA's recent report on housing needs in rural Ontario, including proposals to amend the provincial policy statement to better reflect the needs of rural communities. We understand that. We will also continue our investment in local initiatives to help municipalities streamline, digitize, and modernize their services, including streamlined processes to manage and approve applications for residential developments. I'm proud to report that we've supported more than 770 projects led by small and rural municipalities through 3 intakes of the Municipal Modernization Program, more than 220 implementation projects that are currently underway through the latest intake of the program, and I'm pleased to share that in response to multiple requests from participating municipalities, we're extending the deadline for all implementation projects until later on in 2023. So I'll close by, once again, I want to thank you for your advice, for your support, and for the chance to talk about some of the steps our government is taking in advance of our partnership. ROMA's unwavering dedication and advocacy are instrumental in building strong, thriving communities and addressing the unique challenges facing rural municipalities today. I know firsthand how important, effective local government is to improving the lives of Ontarians, and I appreciate the chance to work toward that goal with all of you. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. So I'd now like to invite my colleagues in Cabinet to come and join me on stage for what I'm sure will be a very lively Ministers' Forum. So.